Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Classic Plus show. It has been several months since you've seen me, Ebonheart, and your boy, Hello J Tello, covering the entire classic scene, but we are finally back with a once-a-week episode. Now, this is the beginning of Season 2, Episode 1, and this is called The Future of Classic, What is Coming, What is Happening, and What's Next. Now, we've got a lot of topics to cover today, from Phase 8 and how wild and big it is, to Anniversary and what's happening at the end of the year with TBC Anniversary, Mob Classic, BlizzCon next year, the OnlyFans DDoS drama, and just recently as well, Greek Wario being banned for several reasons. But we'll cover all that later in the video. So, once again, thank you all for coming back. Tello, how have you been, my man? It's been a while since we've covered Classic. How have you been feeling?
Yeah, man. Dude, I've been other universes. I've been time traveling, brother. I just got back here, and I'm feeling all right, man. I'm feeling all right. It feels good to be back, a part of season of Discovery. I was welcomed back with a multitude of messages and people just giving me heartfelt welcomes. And honestly, like I took that break on AQ. It was a much needed break, but I got to redo AQ. I got to actually do Nax. Now I'm reading Mythic Hardmal for Nax this week, and honestly, it's just an honor and a pleasure. Like, this is my home. I love World of Warcraft. I know you love World of Warcraft, and I know all of us love World of Warcraft. And it just feels good to be back, doing classic related content again. I really do love it.
Absolutely, I'm right there with you. Taking that break from AQ. Now, I know I've been one of the loudest voices on the, fuck AQ train, and I completely get it. I don't like it, and I respect everybody that does like it. I couldn't do it, so I took the break. I've come back. I'm enjoying myself. I'm loving SOD. The welcome has been amazing, like you said. I've had multiple people just open trade with me and give me hundreds of gold. Giving me that mild asthma gold feeling, just like,
Wow.
oh yeah, I don't actually have to play the game. People are playing for me.
Damn, send me some gold, man. I could use a couple hundreds. Prep for Phase 8.
Dude, it's been so helpful for me. I got my paladin fully geared up and ready for tanking and all that shit. Low turn and retaliation is 1,000 gold.
Wow.
Fought with viewer gold.
Wow. Damn, I love viewer gold. I love people giving gold. Send your gold my way and all those goodies. Thank you very much.
But no, the welcome has been amazing, and I'm really excited to be back because, like you said, I love Classic through and through. Just AQ, not so much. And Season of Discovery Phase 8, which is something that's just been phenomenal, and it looks absolutely amazing. Between new Avalon and like the new raid, 8 new bosses, so much new lore as well. And Agri and the dev team have done an amazing job with the storytelling and the lore. If you've done the Paladin Tier 2 class quest item, and that story was beyond phenomenal, and they've continued this whole Paladin Crusader storyline, especially with the Ashbringer as well. What are your thoughts on the story so far? Like, about what they've done, how it feels? Are you vibing with the Scarlet theme they've got going?
I'm vibing with the Scarlet theme. I'm very excited for them to see where they're going to take the entire lore, as much as I want it to go, because I actually made a video kind of going into the WoW comics recently. And I was looking at like the old school stories of like the Ashbringer through the 4-issue series, where they basically take you through the tale of Naxxramas, and then eventually leading with Alexandros' fall, and then eventually Darien getting the corrupted Ashbringer. So like I was like really like diving in and saying to myself, man, like the potential is so high for them to add little drips and pieces to the lore from this point of Classic, since it is Season of Discovery and you can kind of go haywire. I mean, think about the shadowy figure, right? Like, that's still missing, right? You know what I mean? Like, we haven't seen the shadowy figure in a minute, and what would ever happen with that if they ever decide to bring that back? But long story short, I just want to see them express the lore in a way that would make it cool for the community, like especially with the Ashbringer, right? Like, I personally think there should be such cool things that happen, not only with like receiving the Ashbringer, but what type of reward you get from it, whether it's like an exclusive title, etc. I think the possibilities are endless, and I'm really looking forward how they're going to handle certain fights in the Scarlet Enclave itself. One of the my favorite fights that I think I'm excited for the most is the Reborn Council, because I think the Reborn Council and this is just me theory crafting, so we're shooting the shit right now, so lock in. But I definitely think the Reborn Council is a high possibility of bringing everyone back from the Scarlet Monastery, all the bosses we fought, into one fight, and I have a high belief that there's potential that we might even see Sally Whitemane again because she doesn't die. Sally Whitemane never got defeated, and I think what happens between her tail and now, and especially since Lillian Voss is in the raid as well, she's also a fight that we're going to fight, who's the one that winds up beating Sally Whitemane, which she ends up to get her demise in Mr. Pandaria before she gets, turned into a Death Knight later on, like Legion. But what happens, because this is a different Lillian Voss we get to see. She's the one who's actually in favor of the Scarlet Crusade instead of like going against them this time around. And also, where's Sally? Like we last time we saw her, we kill Mograine. Alexander, his father, kills Mograine, right, in the cathedral. We don't see her. So I'm wondering what this Reborn Council is all about, and I'm wondering like how cool is the fight against Herod if he's returning too, and the Hall of the Champions in the armory. Are we going to see those possibly be spirits we fight? Those are the theories that I'm coming up with. I'm just really looking forward to see if they're actually going to execute on this, or maybe I'm just smoking the copium doink and I'm not actually I'm not actually right on any of this stuff. So scratch it all. It's gonna be basic as hell. But what do you think though?
So you mentioning Sally Whitemane, I very, very deeply believe that it's Sally Whitemane, Herod, and Mograine as the Reborn Council. I'm pretty sure it's those three because they're the most iconic. And I just want a high definition Sally Whitemane model. That's all I want. Sell a figurine myself. There's another spot right there in between Misfortune and Satoru Gojo. Right between them. Displayed peak, whatever. Just make it, I'll buy it. But on top of that, like, they're probably going to bring her back because the Reborn Council, there is no more Scarlet NPCs that are named or higher quality that we know of in game that would fit in a Reborn Council. Now, I said this in one of my videos about the new Avalon, everything we know, is they could bring back Gyarados as part of the Reborn Council. Now, it doesn't make sense if they said the Reborn Hero. I would have said Gyarados. Hands down, it would have been a hilarious fight, a nice throwback. Gyarados on his mount, it would have been cool. And he was racist as all hell, so he fits right into the Scarlet Crusade. But no, I do 100% believe with you that it is Sally Whitemane, Mograine, and Herod, and like you said, the Hall of Champions, Herod's iconic armor. I'm sure there's going to be some new pieces and cool stuff from that. It just makes perfect sense that those three come together to make that Reborn Council. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most as well, because Calderon and Beatrix and a bunch of these other bosses like Mason, they sound cool, but like they're new NPCs, and I'm not very well vested into them. Like Calderon's story and the lore that they've introduced to the game is really cool, but I'm not super vested. Like getting the Ashburn is going to be amazing. Don't get me wrong. Really solid stuff. Agron's done a phenomenal job. I'm not sure if Agron wrote this one. I know he did the Pally tier 2 class quest item. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if he did this as well, or if another one of the new writers or creators did. But hey, we'll see when it comes out. But one thing I will say, what you said just before, Lillian Voss. Lillian Voss was a scholar, and her dad is Benedictus Voss, High Priest of the Scarlet Crusade right now. And she is a proud and devout racist Scarlet during the lore.
Yeah.
And we never really knew how she died and how she ended up getting resurrected. That's new. That's stuff that we, like the Cataclysm, we never learned about her past. They kept that shit mysterious forever. So now we learn that me and you, Tello, you specifically, you went and murdered Lillian Voss.
True. I mean, or we just defeat her because she doesn't really, die, right? So, like, I mean, we see her later on in other expansions. So, like, I'm very curious on how they're gonna go about handling these characters' defeats, like what kind of dialogue is going to be said after they're defeated. You know what I mean? A lot of just small attention to detail, and maybe even potential quests after the raid is done too, right? Like maybe a small thing, right? Depending on what you're going forward. But I'm really looking forward to seeing like how unique all these bosses are going to be. I mean, even Herod, the photo that we saw on Wowhead, it has a shoulder, an epic item for almost an upgraded Herod shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of my favorite pieces when I used to play Arms Warrior. I loved going after the Herod set back in the day. I was so obsessed. I was like, give me the full thing, the Ravager, the works. And we're getting a revamped Ravager in the raid as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a new enhanced version of it. and on top of like many other goodies, which I also think is funny. On a side note, the Mason fight, I hope that's a mount drop. I know that sounds crazy, but like, you know how they're whipping it in retail and
Yeah,
Undermine right now? Like they're just like zooming all around. That would be a funny mount drop. Just in sod and everyone's just whipping it. Like I just think for like shits and giggles, like why not? Like but like that's
they
like a whole
should,
thing on
100%.
the side. But as far as like the other fights too, like I saw the dragon fight. How do you pronounce the name? Solstraza?
Sol
Solstraza?
Straza, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, another dragon fight, stand to the side, you know, we know the deal
Did you
for all
actually
dragon
see
fights.
how it happens? Kago found out how the boss fight works. Did you see it?
No, I actually did not see that part.
Do you want me to
Did not see
spoil
that
it?
part. I mean, yeah, lay it on me, bro. Lay it on me.
This is spoiler. If you don't want to hear it, just fast forward like a minute or two. But essentially, the big Scarlet Temple, you go in there, you fight the Hall of Heroes, and there's holes in the ceiling, and the dragon swoops down into the ceiling. It's a statue that awakens.
Oh, okay. That's actually
Again,
crazy.
they may change that. That might have been a placeholder. It might not be how it's meant to be. But it was really cool when like Kago found that, and then they patched it out, so you can't actually see it in the PTR anymore.
Wait, is that the statue that he showed that was on top of the
Yep.
hill of the dragon?
Beforehand, there used to be
Oh, okay, so I
holes
did see
there.
that. Okay,
There are
okay,
holes
okay,
there
okay.
that like show that you can actually see into the. I'm not sure if it's the Hall of Heroes you see into. I don't want to like say that outright.
But it was an opening in the roof that he comes
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
Yeah,
You can go down like you can. I think like the old Scarlet Monastery. You go through there, and then there, like there's the holes in the ceiling, and the dragon swoops in. I think like you defeat somebody in there, and then
Yeah.
like in the Sunken Temple, how you have to kill the 6 trolls, and then you have to run
Yeah.
out because the dragons drop in. It's gonna be like that, is my opinion.
Actually, to talk about that real quick, because I think this leads into the next part really well, because we're talking about like what entrances and different like how it, possibly if the
Yeah.
dragon comes in through the roof or not, but like the zone itself, New
Mhm.
Avalon, you know what I mean, and like how it's laid out with like a continuation. Like they put some placeholders from SM that you could see. There's a
Mhm.
lot of great people on Discords and just everyone that was like testing the PTR. They kind of laid it out what New Avalon looks like.
Right.
And my curiosity is this, like, is it just gonna be like an A, B to C kind of thing? Or like is there gonna be certain points through New Avalon? Because if you go through New Avalon, right, and like past like the Death Knight zone, right? Like past that area to like the big towers in the back, like the ones that you were showing
Yeah.
even on your video too, like the giant like cathedrals
Yeah.
like that we can't just go through, the doors are just closed off.
Mhm.
On the bottom right side, there is an undermine. There's an undermine of New Avalon, kind of like a den mine in a way, but like there's
Mhm.
literally a set of mines. And I'm wondering, is this place going to have 2 points of entry, kind of like how Nomergon did? You know what I mean? Like, is this going to be like one of those things where you can go in from one side or the other, depending, like, let's say you get a key or some type of portal or
Mhm.
whatever? Or is this just straight through Tyr's hand and just going through? You have to go through the entire thing disguised with the Scarlet set pieces.
So
That's what I'm
it
wondering.
in it's something that I'm not sure about, and they've been very tight-lipped about it. I
Yeah.
initially thought that Northern New Avalon, because Northern New Avalon is completely custom and new, right? They've reused assets from different locations, but it's new.
Yeah.
And I initially thought that Northern New Avalon was a PvP location because of Avalon itself being non-PvP. You cannot fight there. Whether you have the Scarlet gear on or not is irrelevant. You have the Armistice debuff by virtue of being a New Avalon. So there is no PvP. And that's weird for an endgame fighting area for there to be no PvP. So I
That's what I
thought
thought too. Yeah.
so I thought Northern New Avalon, the part that's with the gate that's blocked off, I thought it was a PvP zone, like kind of like a new PvPvE event, where it'd be like the Holy Battleground, the Scarlet Siege, because the entrance to the raid is in a cave outside of Tyr's Hand. It's not even inside; it's literally a cave outside. Before you even enter Tyr's Hand, there's literally a cave and a little Scarlet camp, and the entrance to the Scarlet Enclave is this literal cave. So Tyr's Hand and the Southern New Avalon, it's like different locations. There's questing and experimenting and like stuff of that nature. So Northern New Avalon, interesting. And part of me thinks that we're breaking in through the cave, and like essentially you go in through the cave and you come out through the mine. So you break into the mine in Northern New Avalon, then you have to fight your way out of the mine, then climb up the thing, go into the castle, into the monastery, and then do the rest of the raid. But I hope that's not the case. I kind of hope that the raid is essentially a separate thing, and that's a PvP ground because we need PvP. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The raid is amazing. The locations are cool. They're actually trying and doing some cool shit. Makes me excited for Hydra in the future, but we'll cover that later.
Yeah.
But PvP players are suffering. They're starving for content. PvE players, you're eating good. You're eating massively. But everyone else, and you've been PvPing a lot. So what's your thoughts on that?
Nonstop. I listen. I'm actually working on a new video as we speak, and I'm gonna fight for you guys to join my fight today, and we can make a better Azeroth. All right, we will make Battlegrounds great again. All right, lock in, brother. Vote for Tello. Much love to you. But I'll tell you this much right now. I believe that Battlegrounds and PvP is the foundation of Season of Discovery, Classic WoW, and any versions of World of Warcraft when you get to the end game, because you either have your raid loggers, you have the farmers and people doing your RP and transmoggers, don't get me wrong, but you really also have the PvP, which holds up in the end game, and that's what people do when there's nothing else to do. You know what I mean? And I really feel like for the past several phases, and I'm not trying to call out anyone over there at the SOD team, but at the same time, I'll be honest with you guys because I have no hairs on my tongue. I would love to see support for Ashen Vale. I would love to see support for Stranglethorn Vale. And I think a lot of these older, events in, the current phases are just dead, and they're not being played. And if they are, they're being played by a group of range classes that can just either nuke everyone even after the DR reduction. And also at the same time, you should upgrade these vendors with undermine reels. You're not giving your ways for players who want to get back into Season of Discovery to get these stuff from these vendors easily. And it's more a time waster than it is an enjoyment of the game. And that's just your events. Let's talk about BGs now. Arathi Basin is the only thing that exists. Nothing else exists. There's no AV. There's no Warsong Gulch unless you're playing Anniversary. There's only Arathi Basin. And I was with my chat last night going through unused assets, and we saw a snowfield Arathi Basin that has not been put in World of Warcraft. It has not been used, a snowy version of Arathi Basin. And it's there. It's unused. It's in the files. Just add it to the game. And what I'm basically getting at, long story short, is just give us a new battleground. I don't care if it's Scarlet themed. I don't care if it's Hyjal themed. I don't care if it's the Blizzard offers themed in fucking California. I don't care if we're fighting in a parking lot. Just give us a new battleground, please. Like the last event you did, the BlackRock Eruption event, the PvPers that I've talked to in the Discords, in the communities, they wish that event was better. They wish that event was much more designed in a way that had cooler aspects to it. Hell, me and Eben talked about this, where we were talking about a push a payload system. Remember a while back on the
I
older
remember.
episodes, we were doing that. We were talking about this a long time ago. I don't care. Rip it off from Overwatch. Blizzard. The best thing you guys do is copy and do better. You guys copy somebody and do it better. That's what you do. That's what Blizzard does. So I'm very passionate about PvP because I battleground every night. Every night we do BGs, or if people are doing stuff at the arenas in Gorbachev at Arcavian, we're all doing something, and I just want to see love and support for everybody. And also another thing, actually upgrade the ranks. Since Scarlet is coming out, right? The Enclave, put out a rank 15, 16, and put out a new reputation for the Scarlet themed raid. And then also upgrade the PvP gear for PvP enthusiasts that want to get PvP gear. That would be cool, because a lot of the PvP gear that people do get, it's not really the best for PvP for the most part. So it's kind of wasted. So that's what I would say. And I'm a big supporter of it, man. I know it's sod PvP is not for everyone. I get it. You don't need to love it, but at the same time, you can at least appreciate like people fighting for the support of it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to fight for the support of it because I really feel like, it's a fun part of the game, even though it might not be for you, but for me it is. And a lot of people do enjoy it, even though it is crazy with the runes. So I'll just say that.
No, I a billion% agree with you on the sense that I want to latch on something you said before. I say this all the time. Blizzard's greatest skill was stealing. Blizzard was a master at it. They took what everyone else made and said, I see your vision, I'm going to steal it, and I'm going to make your vision better. And ever since they unlocked some honesty, integrity, they should drop it. They don't really need that shit. Go back to being top, like A-class thieves. Just start stealing everything and anything. Like, TWoW. Steal everything. I don't give a shit. What are they going to do? Sue you? It's your game. Take all the stuff. Just take everything that the player base likes from other games and give it to us. And going on to the PvP, the classic, there is no PvP in SOD, like you said. You have to go to Anniversary. and playing AB against the same 45 people every day. If you queue into AB, you're gonna be playing against Tello.
More than likely, you'll see me there.
2/3 of your games is Tello, and
Yes.
and that's not to say like it's bad for the people that are still playing, but it's like it's kind of like there's no reason to. The rank 13, 14 gear, it's not even as I think it's marginally better than Blackwing Lair gear, if even that. I think it's
Yeah,
worse than AQ
alright.
by a decent margin. Like it's not
It's good for certain sets. For certain sets, it's good, but it's not the dominant thing to do for the most part.
And that's the thing is like nobody has an incentive to PvP. At a rank 15, let rank 15 teleport to any capital city they want.
I mean, shit. Then, all right. Well, then we're putting
One
mages out of
person,
business.
one person in the server gets it. One horde, one orc, one tauren, one undead, one forsaken, and one troll. One of each race gets rank 15. Make it a competition. Make it a fight. Make everybody duke it out every week for it. Give people a reason. Give them like fuck it. Rank 14, rank 15 is a new mount. Rank 16 is a cosmetic set. Rank 17 is a title. Give people some reason to PvP. Because I'm not gonna lie, nobody PvPs. Why? Like the AV winter set, the winter map. There's so much like assets in game they're not even using. Take everything the old devs did, reuse that shit. Reuse it. Who gives a shit? The Scarlet Monastery is the OG monastery that they made back in 2001. And they cancelled it because it was too cancer and nobody was having fun because it was too big of a dungeon. Take it, made a raid out of it. Amazing. Do that for all the old content. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I just think PvP needs more love.
I agree. No, you're absolutely right. And like long story short, like I was looking at this stuff with my chat last night, and we were all looking at the unused assets from WoD Secrets videos, or just WoW Secret videos from this YouTuber, which he's actually pretty dope. What's his name? Let me look it up real quick. It's just right here.
Jedi Warlock?
No, it's Haven Games. Haven Games.
My boy Haven, rest in peace.
Yes.
Amazing.
Honestly, the GOAT when it comes to showing this stuff. Like it's honestly phenomenal. And Haven was showing like the Heroes Through Time that was, supposed to be put out for WoD, never got put out. He was showing also Azara's Crater was supposed to be put out in Mist of Pandaria, never got put out. And then also the Arathi Base and the Snow one never got put out. These are just small examples of just other more maps that are actually in the files that you can there's like links to websites and like you can check all this stuff out too. But for the viewers, I know Evan knows all this off the top, but regardless, I'm just saying that this is stuff that we want to see. You guys took it out of certain versions of the game. It's Season of Discovery, right? You're going haywire already. The runes are insane. People are doing millions in damage in hard mode 4. People are doing over 4 million, close to 5 million damage on Kel'Thuzad. Go fucking insane. Like, no, excuse my French. Go insane. Put out the BGs and just test the waters. How do you guys like Azara's Crater? Do you guys like it? Do you like the rank 15, 16 PvP sets that we put in the game that give PvP people an incentive to want to get that gear because it's better for PvP than it is to just do PvE? What do you guys think? And just test the waters. Hell, you want to get crazier? Add an arena. Why not? At least test these things, get the data from it. If it doesn't work in SOD or not, find out rather than talking about what ifs. I don't like hypotheticals. Talk about the reactions of the actions. Put it in the game. Take it and put it in the game. It's as simple as that. I said this last night. I was getting so frustrated because it's all here and nothing's being done with it being stored in a file cabinet. And I honestly, Agron, if you're watching, man, much love, Papa. Come on now. Let's do this. Let's lock it in. I'll do 50 push-ups a night. I'll get shredded, and we'll put this in the game. Let's do it, please.
I will do unpaid labor. I am a professional writer. I write for fun. I love writing. I've ghostwritten shit before. If you want me, I will work for fucking free to write quests and write stories and write this shit.
There you go.
But this ties right into like the next point of Phase 9. And the ending phase of Season of Discovery and what that really includes and like what that is. You're right. Like Phase 9 doesn't necessarily have to be a huge amount of content, but reskin AV, give some mounts, give some things, change the coloring of the map, do shadow AV. The void creature, like you said, the mysterious void being. Xal'atath takes over AV, winner gets a toes. Like, just give people a reason to PvP, give content. Like Phase 9 doesn't have to be as massive as Phase 8, but they can make people want to play AB, make people want to play AV, make it the PvP patch. Bring back
Yeah.
BFD and like all the raids like Sunken Temple, BFD, and Noma scaled to 60 with upgraded gear.
Yeah, so
10-man
somebody
raids.
mentioned 10-man raids would be actually badass. I missed them. But somebody mentioned last night too. They said to me that what if like Xalatath or the shadowy figure, whatever what we're
Mhm.
calling this, came back and she corrupted all the bosses in one like kind of like a hub, like you know how you go into a Nixia's lair
Mhm.
and like a Nixia's there and she's just there, but it's all the bosses in like a rotation, but with like revamped abilities, different gear,
Ooh.
and different fights, and it changes each week. You don't know what you're gonna get, kind of like the Jamal and Ogum fight from Sunken Temple when you didn't know if you were fighting Jamal or Ogum, which week it depended on. So you had to really pay attention to like the fights and who you're killing in the order. So I thought that would be really cool because this way, like it kind of adds something more to her if they want to add more lore to it and how she's like going corrupted because
Mhm.
she's not getting what she wants from this
Right.
timeline. So she gets sent back to, obviously what she's doing or anything that's happening in the undermine and retail. I think it'd just be cool, you know what I mean? And this is stuff to like nerd out about because this is the cool stuff that we fantasize about because it's like, all right, what these are the what ifs. Like, let's see if they happen. But I don't know if Blizzard's really cooking like that. Maybe it's just us. We're too high in the copium and overthinking things. And hell, BlizzCon's coming out in a couple months, yada yada. You know what I mean? I'm just saying it would be cool because Phase 9, like, what are they gonna do? Is it Grim Batol? Like, is it something else out of like the ordinary? Is it like a new instance? Because I don't know if a Phase 9's actually gonna happen. To be honest with you, like I'm in the field right now that I think we're gonna go Phase 8. We're gonna finish this out strong, but only of the reception on how good Phase 8 really is gonna make a Phase 9 possible.
I
If
agree with
it
that.
actually happens in the time frame with those couple months left. That's how I'm feeling right now. But what do you think?
I my issue is I would love for there to be like a phase 9 that's high quality, full of in-depth shit, but I do think the problem is I think they're working on something big for after BlizzCon, and they need time to make that. And between the upcoming MOP Classic, TBC Anniversary, the remaining phases in Anniversary, Phase
Yeah.
8, a potential Phase 9, they have run stressed thin. And I know they've hired a bunch of new employees. On the low end, it's like 15 employees up to like 40 or 50 in between that range. Because I actually saw a sheet recently that was leaked in the Chinese client. I call it the test client because they brought on like there's mob stuff, WoD stuff in there. There's
Yeah.
archaeology and things in Wrath of the Lich King. Like the client's kind of wonky, and there was a whole list of employees. Every employee at Blizzard was on that list. Well, in the classic dev team. I didn't show it in my videos, and I hope nobody else did because I know not every employee has the information in the public. So I chose not to showcase that. But that was just in the public files you could access. And the team has grown. So it's just like this mentality of they have the employees, they have the team, but do they actually have the time to make the content? Because Zalatath still hasn't been discovered. She's in Grimbatal right now. Lore-wise, she's at the depths of Grimbatal. An adventurer takes her dagger out. That's how you get to. That's how you get to Legion and all that stuff. And like all the stuff with Zalatath happens then, but that doesn't happen until she gets rescued. I think it's lore-wise, it's kind of blurry on the exacts, but I think it's just around Cataclysm. When you go into Grimbatal and Cataclysm, that's when Adaga gets taken out, just before or just after. So
Yeah.
she's still there. She's inside Grimbatal.
I mean, it's possible they can go that direction. I'm also thinking of a flip side of that coin too. What if they decide to take another alternative? What if they decide to not? Because I think one of the most disappointing things for me in season discovery when I used to do my walks in Azeroth videos, where I would just like walk through different parts of the world and just have just casual conversation, I would always talk about like what are they gonna do with the shadowy figure? Is she gonna, remember we would talk about this? Is she gonna corrupt Ragnaros and make a shadowy void version of him
Mm-hmm.
where you drop down and it's a brand new fight and everything in the lair is corrupted by this plague of shadow, and I thought that would have been sick, and I'm sure other people probably have thought about this as well. But regardless, I'm wondering too, like, what if like because we're doing this whole Ashbringer thing, right? And at this point, the only person who really has the corrupted Ashbringer, I mean, I know they're showing Calderon, but it's also Darian, you know and the son of the Mograine, right, of Alexandros. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like I'm wondering because I know we're going through the Death Knight zone and everything that we're seeing in New Avalon as well. But is there a possibility that phase 9, let's say if it does happen, right? And I know there's the big like, shock and awe with undead pallies and dwarf shamans, and now they might not happen. We don't know if they will happen. I think it all is based off the reception off of phase 8. But
Mhm.
what if, and this is the strongest what if phase 9 actually were to introduce Death Knights to Season of Discovery? And there would be content surrounded around, since we got the Ashbringer, Darian technically still has the corrupted Ashbringer, and he tries to get he basically succeeds in taking it away from us. But obviously we don't lose the people who get it, they get their legendary item still. But just lore wise, like he moves on and still, you know what I mean? Because there's this gap and there's spaces between his lore that just don't add up. And I'm wondering if they're gonna be willing to actually go down that route, and then it's some Death Knight themed phase,
That's
just for one phase.
that would be kind of wild because I
I
know
mean,
that they
just
tried to
saying.
make the Death Knight class back in 2001, 2000 when they were working on WoW in its alpha. As a paladin player, you would have to do a quest line, you would have to forsake the alliance, and then you would become a horde Death Knight. Because again, when this was being written, the lore hadn't become what it was, so the lore was kind of different. The original Death Knights are horde Death Knights. This was developed in tandem with Warcraft 3 for the most part.
Yeah.
And when you consider that, I wonder if that code is still there, where Paladin players can do the quest line and then turn the trigger on for Death Knights. Or they could
Yeah.
just bring Wrath of the Lich King Death Knights back in, turn that shit on, and just, both sides have Death Knights. And then they could do something fun with that. Or they could do something funky with TBC. Like phase 9 onwards, like when they're going to TBC
It's
Anniversary,
possible.
TBC Sword with Death Knights and shit enabled.
It's
Imagine.
possible. You know what I mean? Like we never thought Season of Discovery would ever happen to begin with. How wonky how things have
Mhm,
got. Like look how crazy things are now. So like,
absolutely.
what's to say what's not and not possible anymore? Like literally, the cards of like what ifs and hypotheticals are off the table. It's all
Yeah.
about now. What are we expecting next? Like we know what's happening down the line. We understand the things that are currently happening with like anniversary and all that stuff going on right now, which we're about to talk about in a second. But like all the stuff that's happening, like it's all possibilities and it can go haywire. They went haywire with Sod, and if the opportunities that lead to a potential Classic Plus come, 2026 after BlizzCon are there, who the hell knows what they're going to base off their premises from Season of Discovery, things that they did like in there and things that they didn't within Classic Plus. And if they were to do something crazy with Phase 9, if it got good reception and they had the manpower, the time, the effort, the energy, right? I would love to see some crazy shit. That's all I'm saying. I think it would
Absolutely.
be cool I think it would be just a nice little homage for the fan base, even though Phase 8 is already a nice enough homage for the Scarlet Enclave itself.
In my opinion, I think they haven't gone crazy enough. I think Agrin, I know it's Agrin, let the chains off the dev team, let them do whatever they want. Doesn't matter. It can be outlandish. You know what? Let Doomlord Kazakh be a warlock demonology summon. I don't give a shit. Do anything and everything. Break the game absolutely utterly. At this point, Season of Discovery Phase 9 onwards should just be about how much can we screw the game up. That's all. It's like the average classic player or the classic purist doesn't care about SOD. They don't play it anymore. They're playing
They don't care about
Anniversary or other games, or they're playing TWoW, or what they consider to be a pure version of quotation mark Classic Plus. And despite us knowing SOD isn't Classic Plus, a lot of people still disbelieve that. Despite Agron even saying on Hammer's comment section, this isn't Classic Plus. Tim Jones said in an interview with Hammer,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is an experiment. It's clearly leading to something. No matter how much the devs have said it subtly, unsubtly, people are like, this is Classic Plus. It's not Classic
It's not.
Plus.
It's
SOD
not.
is not Classic Plus.
It's not. It's always been a test realm, and
Exactly.
the people to try to like. There's so much like back in the day enthusiasts that I've even talked to or even message, and a lot of people would like classic Andy knowledge, and that's great for classic. This is not classic. It's a form of it. It's not classic in
Absolutely.
itself. If it was classic, then we wouldn't have any of these runes, any of this stuff. It's Season of
100%.
Discovery. It's a test realm. Treat it like that. Let's move on.
And that's what I'm saying. They should test the shit out of it. Break the
Just
game.
test stuff.
I don't care. Honestly, enable it so you can have humans on the horde side. I just want to see what happens. I don't care. I think they should break the game beyond recognition because at this point, SOD is ending. Phase 9,
Yeah.
it might be a Phase 10, right? But it's clearly ending because there's something happening after BlizzCon.
Yeah, it was
Just
fun. It was
screw
fun
the
for the
game up.
season.
Yeah,
It,
exactly.
it was it was fun for the season. We move on. It's no different than like playing a seasonal character in Diablo. Like you played it
Exactly.
only for a season. You test things out, what you liked in that season, and that's it. And you move on
Mhm.
back to your normal hardcore characters. That's it.
But if you could have one thing in Phase 9, before we end this topic about Phase 9, what would you like in Phase 9? One thing, just one thing.
Gold, gold. Send your gold. I would love so much gold. I need every piece of gold. Tello Ret, DM me. But
You guys heard it. Mail him. Crusader Strike. Tello Red.
gold. Send it to Crusade.
TELLORET.
Send it to the Crusade. I'll split it with the brothers of the Crusade. Send the gold. But the one thing I would love in Phase 9, I think you said it earlier, and even if they don't focus on it in Phase 8, please give it in Phase 9 just as something for the PvPers and just test it. A phase that primarily focuses on improving PvP fundamentally, like actually adding. And this is crazy. I know they probably won't do this, but this is just a dream, right? So I'll just say the dream: adding multiple battlegrounds, taking a lot of their unused battlegrounds that they skipped out in other expansions, and just throwing it in the game. Throwing arenas to just do some testing. Throwing. I'm gonna make a controversial one here. Throw PvP gear with resilience from TBC. I want to see resilience PvP gear because this way it would take away the big number go burr mentality because I know we love that in PvE, but this is the difference between PvP oriented folks and PvE oriented folks. PvE oriented folks like to see the big numbers. In PvP, it's not about the big numbers, it's how you outplay your opponent and understand the rotations and the knowledge of the game. That's where the PvP oriented folks lie. Yes, you can get some big bursts, but it's not always about just nuking a person 100 to 0 all the time. That's not really PvP. That's just like clicking a button and that's it. You know what I mean? Like this happens with, before the DR reduction. This happened with Paladins. This happens still with, kill shot hunters. This happens with Starfall Druids. Like, let's be honest. We know these things. We can agree to that. But regardless, yeah, I would love them to see just go crazy with anything on the PvP end. And if you want to add something like in terms of what you want to do with the shadowy figure or something that continues off of Phase 8 with the Ashbringer or something else, then cool. But that's just a hope and a dream. But what about you? What would you like to see possibly with Phase 9?
70-foot world boss Sally Whitemane. I'm
Yeah,
joking. I'm
dude.
joking.
Now
I'm
we're
not
talking.
joking, but no.
Yeah.
I
Dreams
would.
come true.
I would like to see a new zone. Hyjal, Grimbatal, like turning the entirety of like not Lochmelon, wetlands or like Hyjal or the Caverns of Time, creating alternate like zones. Like maybe they do Caverns of Time and like you can just enter one of the portals and one of the portals leads you to Alwyn Forest 300 years ago, back during the Null Wars. Or maybe we get like a zone that's like Lordaeron 600 years ago during the Troll Wars. Like there's so many cool stories and things they could do that would be amazing that we just sadly don't get, like because the zones aren't there. So that would be my dream, is them creating the custom zones, custom locations, and just experiencing history in a separate way. A lot of effort,
Cool.
probably a Classic Plus thing, but I would love to see it in a Phase 9.
Yeah,
Even just
it's a
one
cool
zone. Even just one zone.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. 100%.
But now we move on to Anniversary. And now, before we talk about Classic Anniversary, I want to open up with the big problem in Anniversary Realms. And this is genuinely a huge problem. And that is the gold prices of flasks. It's obscene.
Yeah.
I think there are just shy of 500 gold a flask now. I do not see how it's feasible for the economy to work like this. There is very clearly a mafia. There's literally YouTube channels dedicated to hunting bots to extinction.
Yeah.
People are getting death threats. The economy is in shambles. And I honestly think everyone needs to be banned. Easiest solution, not the right solution, but it's the fastest solution. Ban everybody. If you have more than 2,000 gold, it wasn't farmed naturally. Banned. But okay.
Yeah.
That is a joke. But the economy is in shambles. Greek Warrior got banned for buying gold. This was literally yesterday.
Yep.
By the time this video comes out, it'll be a couple days later. But what are your thoughts on that, Tal? I'm going to let you start with that. Go ahead.
Everybody gets banned, brother. Get packed. But no, I know you're just joking before, and I'm joking too. But I like Greek Warrior, man. I think Greek Warrior is a cool dude. I actually watched his Paladin content here and there whenever I get the chance. It's pretty cool seeing him wreck in PvP. And I know he's a very like parse heavy dude. Like he really likes to pump, you know, and I get it, you know what I mean? Like a lot of classic indies, they like to really just get in and out of raids and just have fun with their time, you know. But I think the way Greek Warrior went about it, because I watched a little bit of him with Shobek and Bobka on the podcast that they were doing. I mean, he was just like just streaming it and talking about it. But I think the way he went about it, I understand the message that you're trying to put out. You're trying to say, listen, it's not about me and my one account of the 3 accounts that I have that I bought gold on to, you know, focus everything just on me. It's about the greater issue going on at Anniversary, and that issue being 443 gold for a Flask of Supreme Power. For one, by the way, guys. Just one. I'll repeat that again. 443 damn gold for one Flask of Supreme Power. You know how much that is on SOD? It's like 15, 10 gold. What are those
Worthless.
margins and those percentages? It's insane. Flask of Titans, 424 gold. I bought one for like 13 gold yesterday on SOD. Black Lotus, 348 gold for one. These are just one. Now, there's other prices there, but even the recipe for the Flask of the Titans, 649 gold. Regardless of this, there's no world where these consumes should be these prices. It's not right. It should not happen. And on websites, these flasks are actually going for like 15, 16 USD, the highest it's ever been in the history of classic WoW. And this is doing more harm than it is good. And I actually feel for them. I'm not going to lie. I understand Greek Warrior's message. My problem with what Greek Warrior did, though, is that it's not about how you did it. It's how you showed it. The problem is the reason he got banned is because on January 25th, you go back to his Twitter, he shows, and I quote, him on actual websites of gold buying having a conversation with a seller buying gold and admitting to buying the gold and saying he's buying the gold. You don't show. Listen, like I don't know if you ever never watched a mafia movie, but if you do a hit and run, you don't tell somebody you did the hit and run. You just do it, and know if nobody saw it, it never happened. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, if you're gonna be buying gold, don't tell anybody about it and put it on Twitter. That's where I think he messed up. I get his message though. He's fighting for like fairer prices on Anniversary. I understand where he's coming from. And also with the removal of GDKPs, it could have done more harm than good. I understand how maybe some people hate GDKPs, some people do. But the one thing I think Greek Warrior said that I actually liked, he said that we should have 2 classic servers. We should have one where it's GDKP viable and another where it's not GDKP viable, right? So GDKP versus non-GDKP. And at the end of the year, let's see which one flourishes more in the economy. Which one is better economy-wise? And I would like to see those tests. I would love to see that data. Like I would like to see a 1v1 comparison of a server that's GDKP enabled and one that's disabled and see which one thrives in the end. Now, I don't know which one would win, but I would like to see the results either way and, just go from there. But yeah, it sucks, man. He got banned, he got packed, and I don't think he's going to be returning. And Anniversary, I'm not going to lie, it's kind of in shambles. Their economy is really effed, man. It's not fun. I'm happy I'm not playing Anniversary, and it sucks because I have friends who play there. But I don't want to play on a server that costs fucking 300 to 400 gold a flask. Why would I want to do that? That sounds horrible.
It's a tragedy, and it's a situation of so many people are now partaking in the cursed economy that it's now a situation of it's like how do you fix Detroit? You leave.
Yeah.
Which is what everybody did. And that's the problem with Anniversary is that Blizzard doesn't have a good solution because they'd have to ban a lot of people. And then if they started banning everybody, I never bought gold. I would never.
Come on now.
It's like I'm not saying like every single person is a gold buyer. I'm just saying that if the prices are that high, it's because a lot of people are.
But yeah,
the prices don't just go up in a vacuum. They go up because people are spending more and more, which means they're buying more and more to justify spending more and more. It's how it works.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I agree with Greek Warrior's message of that. It's so prevalent, you have to. It's essentially, it's a matter of, it's not, you can't avoid, if you want to play efficiently, you can no longer avoid not buying gold. I 100% get the message. The way you portrayed it was, honestly, brother, not the smartest way to portray it, but I approve the message. Some people have to martyr themselves for something to happen.
Yeah.
Even if it was an avoidable martyring, it was avoidable.
True. It was. I mean, he could have easily just like put a photo of like any developer or whatever, like he did already on his Twitter, and just like, say this is ridiculous, yada yada, and still tagged all these bigger creators. But like at the end of the day, he dug the grave. But I salute him for doing
Absolutely.
it, because at the end of the situation, yeah, '07, brother, '07, cue the snake music. But I was like, man, dude, it just sucks that that had to happen to him, because like at the everybody, listen, we all love classic WoW, man. Like we all love World of Warcraft. I love all versions of the classic community, and I just want to see it thrive and be healthy. And I hate the fact that the people on Anniversary have to go through this shitty economy. When you look at the Season of Discovery economy, and dude, the one thing I'll say this, and I said this last night with chat too, and I was like, bro, this is the perfect thing that I love about SOD, is that the economy is booming.
Yeah.
The economy on SOD, you can make gold so many ways. You don't need
Mm-hmm.
to swipe. Bro, I just literally made 2,000 plus gold with me and my friend helping people level, like with selling invasion boost. Like we
It's
were
so
literally just
easy.
we were just helping people sell invasion boost. Like, bro, just come in if you want to pay some gold, pay some gold. It's up to you. You know what I mean? But don't pay like a crazy amount. You want to pay 30 gold or 35? I don't care. You know what I mean? Pay whatever gold you want per level. Like we were literally, but at the end of the day, it's understandable that people in SOD too, let's not forget, they're probably swiping for this gold too if they're buying boosts. You know what I mean? I'm not going to deny it. We're just selling the services to help them boost. It is what it is. At the end of the day, that's just one form, though. There's many other forms of making gold. People are doing profession farming, people with material farming, people are getting stuff from raid and farming that. You know what I mean? Like there's so many various ways. The AQ war effort supplies, people are making from that, from disenchanting. You know what I mean? There's a multitude of methods, or prepping for phase 8 right now and selling those mats early to take advantage just in case those mats get released at a cheaper expense in the next phase. And they're doing it now, so they take advantage with either Auctionator or TSM. Like, I understand these things, and we all do. But I really think SOD has a better community when it comes to the economy, and I can't knock them for that. But then I look at Anniversary, and I'm like, bro, like, poor classic, man, and the poor community that have to deal with that BS. And it's unfortunate that Greek Wario had to unfortunately lay his shield on the line, brother, to
Absolutely.
for the greater cause. But I mean, it is what it is, man. It just it sucks, and it's
Oh
unfortunate because he was
sevens.
he was mad at the whole like OnlyFans thing. Like they were reviving hardcore people, but they weren't fixing Anniversary. And I get his point, man. I mean, I understand his point, because regardless how you feel about OnlyFans, I'm in support of them. I think it's always great to bring content to Classic WoW, no matter what. But you can't forget about Anniversary and the people that are playing there just because
100%.
it's not as hype. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, bro. Like, it's not the way to do it.
And we've got to discuss that hardcore problem as well. But before we get into that, I do still want to talk about phase 4, 5, and 6 for Anniversary. And what do
Yeah.
you think is going to happen once AQ drops? Especially with these terrible flash prices, AQ being slow and droughty and rough. Like, every time AQs happen, the player base is dipped. And
All the time.
Anniversary is facing a lot of problems. So, what do you think is going to happen when AQ hits Anniversary?
I think you're going to have the classic loyalists play the game still.
Mm-hmm.
And I think majority of the classic loyalists that do still play the game, and I'm not calling everyone out, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I
Right.
think the top of the top players are going to be the ones that are buying the gold, the ones that are getting a lot of gold
Mm-hmm.
through one method or another, even though GDKPs are banned, right? And I just think a lot of drop offs going to happen. It's just his history is going to repeat itself, like player drop off. And I think it'll probably be a little bit more this time around due to the prices of the economy, because things are
Mm-hmm.
going to skyrocket come AQ. It's just going to happen, and it's already skyrocketing right now. And only the true classic loyalists who are around are going to play, and it's not going to be as hype. People are just going to raid log, and that's it. There's nothing else that's going to happen. Maybe a little open world PvP here and there, whatever BGs, but unfortunately, that's just the truth. I just think right now, um, I think the people who are in charge of Anniversary, I don't know who they are. I don't know if it's one or two guys, chilling at a desk with a Monster Energy can. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's, Linda in Tennessee. I have no idea who it is. But unfortunately, it's not a lot of people, I think, that are managing Anniversary. That's my belief, and it's no disrespect, but that's my belief. And I don't think they really I don't think their biggest concern is Anniversary right now. I think their biggest concern is other versions of Classic, the continuation of retail, and Anniversary is just kind of that thing that's there. And I kind of wish, I'm going to say a hot take right now, I kind of wish they never did Anniversary. I kind of wish they started with
Ooh.
TBC. I kind of wish
Honestly,
they started with
I
TBC.
ain't gonna lie with you. Until you said that, saying like no anniversary, I was about to say I don't like it. I'm not, but you know, the TBC part 100%. They should just skip classic and go straight to TBC. I think
It
anniversary.
makes sense.
I
And
think
it
they
makes
should have dragged Sod out when Phase 8 ends or Phase 9 ends. They should have ended Sod and then gone straight into TBC anniversary. Regular classic, not TBC Sod, just regular TBC relaunched. Like take all the
Yeah.
Sod players, all the classic, everybody unified, right into TBC.
Bro, I would have been playing both TBC and SOD at that point. It would have been so fun.
Absolutely.
I'll do SOD week, TBC week. It would have been great. But
100%.
unfortunately, they didn't do that. They started with Anniversary, and now look where the economy and the state of the game is over there. Like it's just struggling. And it's no hate to the people that love Classic, because I love Classic too, and the people that thoroughly enjoy the elements of what they like about it. But unfortunately, when you have gold sinks and you have a bad economy, that leads to a fall of a game. I've seen it before. I've seen it before in other MMOs. I've seen it in DC Universe Online back in the day when DC Universe was like at a good point and the devs killed their game and the economy was shite. It was horrible. So it literally killed the game and nobody ever played it again. So I'm just saying, like it's very scary what they're doing over there. And I hope I listen. If any devs are watching, guys, I mean, I'm praying for Greek Wario. Maybe reconsider his reinstatement and understand that he was just doing it for a message, because he's not wrong. He's not wrong. And we know better than anyone that just because, they tackled the bots, let's not act like bot accounts and subscriptions don't make money for Blizzard. Let's be truthful. Let's be truthful here, right? It is a dark side of the reality, but as the truth. And I just hope that something can be done and Blizzard you know, takes a step up of responsibility and some action, just like with the whole DDoSing and everything, which we'll get to later.
Honestly, that is the perfect segue to jump right into the problems of like anniversary and classic and what they did with hardcore and OnlyFans in the DDoS situation. Because being very honest, every single person that's been watching this for the most part is aware of what happened with OnlyFans, where they had mass targeted DDoSes on Blackwing Lair Day and essentially got most people killed, right? And now DDoSes are common. Blizzard typically doesn't do anything about it. If you DC because of server issues, stability issues, DDoS issues, it's on you. Blizzard doesn't do anything. But there were so many eyes on this that Blizzard kind of had no choice but to essentially take all of this and be like, this is a one-off where it was a major denial of service, a major DDoS that hit the Blizzard servers, that we're going to roll things back. And, well, not roll things back, they're going to resurrect characters. So they weren't actually rolling the game back, they were just resurrecting everybody that died within a certain time period. Not just OnlyFans players, everybody in hardcore that died between certain hours got resurrected. Or will be. I'm not sure if they've been resurrected yet. And that was a really good solution by the Blizzard devs. They came back, made an actual W. But like you said, the W is great. It's huge. It is great for hardcore and the whole hardcore situation. But it doesn't really help with Anniversary and other problems that the game has. For example, SOD getting Phase 8, amazing. Anniversary being cooked, not so amazing. Fixing hardcore, amazing. But, 2 W's and an L, it should be 3 W's.
Yeah.
There should be no L's. Again, that's just my opinion. But honestly, talking about the DDoS, who do you think caused it? Because the biggest, most prevailing meme is, and I'm not trying to start drama, it's is that the biggest and the funniest joke in the community is that Pirate Software caused the DDoS because, fuck OnlyFans. We know he didn't.
Bro.
We know he didn't. But, in your opinion, do you think it was, targeted by a specific group, or do you think it was just, a viewers that just wanted to screw up the experience for the lols? Why do you think there was such a huge DDoS?
I mean, memes aside, obviously, I know it's not Pirate, I mean, I have
sure.
none but love, because I don't think he deserves any actual hate that he genuinely gets. I think it's a little weird to hate on people on a crazy degree. So regardless if he made a small mistake, who cares, right? Move on. But yeah, I think honestly, you have to think about it. in a sense of how this attack was planned, and it couldn't have been just one person operating this
Mhm.
off of a VM with just some basic rig. You have to server flood the packets millions and millions of times. Like it's literally like a concentrated script that is generated to do this with some type of a malicious intent at a targeted point of time for the DDoS to happen, and it has to be executed with precision, right? And I think it wasn't one person. I think it was a multitude of people that got together and they got all their rigs together. Maybe just a bunch of you know
Mhm.
smart people. I got it is you got to have some type of knowledge to do this, right? They have money, obviously, getting their rigs together to do this, and I think it was a group of people that just genuinely just didn't like OnlyFans. And they also were probably even doing it since, because you got to remember, this wasn't only going on since OnlyFans. This was going on since the Race to World First with Team Liquid,
True,
with
that is
Undermine.
valid actually.
This was actually going on a couple weeks back. Peo even talked about it since the 13th. It was happening.
Mhm.
So this was going back some time, and it was constantly happening. And people were getting wiped on hardcore, and people were losing their characters. And I think it's just a serious, unfortunate circumstance. And I'm gonna just say this right now. I've said this on chat, and I said this in my video talking about it. Anybody who DDoSes people because they just don't like a streamer and they have genuine hate in their heart, I genuinely think you need to find some like happiness in your life. Like you need to move on and you need to get out of the house and find some joy with your life and get off of Twitch a little bit. Maybe
Mhm.
get off the platform and go to the club, go work out, do something with your life, whatever it takes, because that's some real cornball stuff. And to ruin these people's time just because you are either jealous or envious or you're just mad you're not in the clique or whatever it is, you need to grow up, bro. Grow up, move on, boo hoo, who cares? Um, that's how I feel. And it's not right for OnlyFans to go through that. And the reason why I feel bad is not because of the typical, like, oh, soda pop and whatever. I feel bad for the new people who joined OnlyFans, who this is their first time ever playing World of Warcraft. And this is their first time meeting other people and collaborating. And they have to go through this dog shit experience because of unfortunate circumstances. I just don't
Mhm.
like that. I think it's disrespectful. I think it's nasty. And it's not only that they affected only OnlyFans. They have affected the EU guild, Just Pool, who got wiped on
Mhm.
Velastraza and BWL, killed majority of them. And they've also wiped hundreds of thousands of other people as well. So I'm just gonna say it's just complete BS and it's unfair. And I hope Blizzard takes it upon themselves to not only just resurrect just OnlyFans and
Mhm.
they were talking about mass events, whether that's a mass event of I guess a DDoS, some person was saying in my comments, or of a mass event for like a big group thing going on. But I just hope in general, if there's a DDoS attack and people put in a ticket in a submission form saying, hey, this DDoS killed my character at this place at this time, can I get a revive? I hope they answer that because they're still saying at their sole discretion that they'll still pick and choose who they can revive. And that leads me to wonder how many people do they have in the office on the hardcore department? Because maybe they're saying their sole discretion because they don't have a lot of people and it takes a lot of time to go through each reply and ticket. You feel me? So I don't know. What do you feel about it, man? Do you feel like they are gonna revive everyone? Do you feel like it's only gonna be OnlyFans, or
I think
do you think this is just gonna create more drama in the next like
I
couple days?
think just to get it solved, they're going to be we're resurrecting everybody from like 1 hour after OnlyFans Blackwing Lair to everybody that died to like 5 hours before. So a 6 hour window. Everybody in this window gets revived. So no matter who you are, where you died, it could have been a level 4 character, a level 15, level 40, you could have been in a raid, a dungeon. If you died in these 6 hours, because that's how long the DDoS was happening, it was multiple days, but they're not going to go back and res hundreds of thousands of people across,
They're not gonna do it.
they're going to pick like a 6 hour window or a 3 hour window. Heck, they might even do a 2 hour window, but they're going to pick a window and res everybody in that window. And I think that's the drama free way of doing it. Because that way you can't say that if OnlyFans, sure, they timed it around OnlyFans and resurrecting them, but they're gonna hit everybody. It's the least amount of drama. I think that's the best thing they're going to do. I'm not saying it's the best thing. I think they could go back probably like 48 hours, maybe even a week, because the DDoS has been happening for a while. But I don't think they're gonna do that. I think it's gonna be a set amount of hours, res everybody, call it a day, and then very circumstantially res people in the future, depending on things.
Yeah, it's just at this point like like here's the thing where like I'm a little I guess in a bit of disagreement because like
Mhm.
I feel like that they're gonna look at like let's say for example like what you said they do a 2 hour thing, right? and they res everybody. And they're like, all right, well, you know, if you were in this window around the OnlyFans event, you're getting the revive. It's going to set that implementation to the hardcore player base now that if you weren't around a popular streamer group or a popular group of people at that point, we don't care about you guys because you're not the one bringing eyes to our platform. You're not the one bringing views to our game and potential new subs and dollar bills. I'm looking at this more from like a financial aspect as well because it is money is the root of all of it. No matter what, people will invest into wanting to play the game because they see OnlyFans. It's another alternative route for them to make a bang for a buck, and I get it. But I think honestly, if they just do the 2 hour thing, that's basically Blizzard saying "f you" to everybody in the previous weeks. I'm just saying that I
Yeah,
genuinely believe that, and maybe it's agree to disagree type of situation, but I think it's going to set a premise for hardcore going forward. And if you're not in OnlyFans or any other big group, whether it's EU or any popular streamers, it's going to set a premise going forward that if you're not in, you're out. That's how I believe.
I agree with you.
And once again, I have no hate towards OnlyFans. I'm just telling you how it is because I just like to be
I
transparent.
agree with you. That's why I said I think the 2 hours is unlikely. I do think it's going to be like a 6 hour window. So that way it's kind of a bigger thing. Because OnlyFans typically raids on popular raiding hours for the most part. They don't really raid on like off hours. They raid on where a lot of people typically do end up doing their raiding.
Mhm.
And like I said, I could literally see them doing a 24-hour window of everybody gets res in a 24-hour window. So from the beginning to the end of like say 12 a.m. Noon this day to noon the next day.
Yeah.
Everybody gets rest. And I think that's what they're going to do because it's the safest option. It just handles everything, gets them done with it, and just lets everybody move on. I know it's not
True.
perfect. I know for a fact that like people are gonna complain. Why that day? Is because they only OnlyFans died, streamer privilege, etc. I'm not even gonna lie to people. It's just real life. If you got money and fame and attention, you have privilege. It's just what it is. There's no use complaining and bitching and moaning about it. This isn't some altruistic corporation. They're a corporation. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, we can hate it, but this ain't a meritocracy. This is a corporation doing what's in the best interest for their bottom line. I don't think this is Agrant's call. I think somebody at Blizzard got mad about the amount of bad PR they were getting and told Agrant to fix it. Somebody at Xbox, right? Because now Xbox
Yeah.
owns it. I don't think this was like a. I don't think like they really care about the classic devs getting hate or something. I think they were just told fix the issue, solve it. Like
Yeah.
again, people forget how small the classic player base is. If we're being generous, there's about 500,000 active raiders, right? So based on what I know about the classic player base, about 50 to 70, about 30 to 50% of the player base doesn't raid at all. They PvP, they collect stuff, they just do dungeons, they don't do any raiding, or they don't log. And a lot of pugs don't get logged anymore, which is something that's really interesting because I've run a bunch of pugs, they were not logged at all. And when you consider that, there's a lot of people that just, being generous, is maybe 1 or 2 million people playing Classic. Call of Duty has more people playing on a one day. They sold like 20 million copies of the latest Black Ops 6. 20 million. That's how many people are actively playing Call of Duty, give or take, every day. You think, like, compared to the amount of money certain games are developing, they care too much about what the Classic player base is really doing? It's a blip on the radar. The Classic isn't as big as we in the Classic community think it is. And I'm not being disrespectful here. I'm just saying, like, OnlyFans is a lot bigger in terms of eyes and views than probably all the Classic combined, if I'm gonna be honest. That sucks to admit.
Yeah, they definitely bring a lot of viewership for sure.
Again, this was a kind of a side tangent. I'm not saying it's the right thing. I'm just saying, let's be honest. I don't think the corporation is gonna care.
No, I mean, you're not wrong at all. That's the whole point of it, though, is that's my point. What I was saying before, though, is that you're gonna set a premise, and once you set that premise, and it's based off of, the favoritism of a specific group, you're gonna turn off any other player from wanting to participating in that type of re-release or whatever they do in the future. You know what I mean? Because who's to say this is going to be the last hardcore? It'll highly doubt it. There's going to be another hardcore in the future. The history is
Sure.
going to repeat itself. They've
Absolutely.
re-released Classic 1,000 times already. It's no different from Bethesda re-releasing Skyrim on the fucking Nokia at this point, or a Samsung or a fucking iPhone. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it literally, they're going to repeat it, right? And sure, even Soda was saying until OnlyFans 3. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, who knows if they're gonna come back, or if they're gonna continue it. I hope they continue it regardless. But my just biggest gripe is that I care about the classic community. I
Mhm.
care about the players.
Mhm.
I don't care if you're the biggest streamer in the world or if you're one viewer Andy. I care about classic. And I want Classic to thrive and succeed on all ends, whether it's Anniversary going through their gold issues, whether it's SOD going through the lack of PvP support, whether it's Hardcore going through BS DDoSing, and they shouldn't pick favorites. They should revive people who submit DS or DDoS forms and say, hey, I was genuine DDoS. I have the proof. I have a clip of it. I have a screenshot, whatever they can provide, and go through that. That's their obligation. And I think we deserve that much because we paid over how many years of playing World of Warcraft? We've
I
made
agree
these
with you.
people rich.
I 100% agree with you.
I love the
I
game,
just
but
don't
we
think
made
they
them
care.
rich.
I
No, of
just,
course they no, they don't care, but that's the problem though, right? And that's why Greek Wario is kind of pissed off too about his whole his situation is because he knows they don't care. And that's why I can understand it. And I'm not afraid to call it out or be put on a list or whatever. I will admit it. I will praise Blizzard when they do great,
Mhm.
but I will call Blizzard out when they do wrong. And that
Absolutely.
and that and that's the facts. And I think more people need to have a backbone in order to do that, to be real. And let's have genuine discussion. Let's not sound like robots and throw out 1,000 words of jargon and be technical about things. Let's like actually come face to face value with situations. And the way they worded that stuff out on their posts, I saw other content creators, which I won't name, they were saying like, "Oh, it's a good post. It's a W decision by Blizzard," and I agree so as well. But when you're really looking at the wording of lining, it just makes it sound like they don't have a lot of people working on hardcore as you think, and it would take them too much time to put out everybody getting revived. That's why it's at their sole discretion, and they boldened it at their sole discretion until whenever they get the chance to tackle it. And I think that's basically saying we're only going to revive a certain people within a small window, and everybody else, I'm sorry, it is what it is. And that's where I'm like, man, that's why I said it sets the premise. And now I
Absolutely.
think if that happens, call me right. You know what I mean? I'm
It,
just saying
it's
that's just the truth.
it's 100% the truth, and that, like I said, it sucks. Like I said, the classic dev team, if we're being at the most generous, is at 100 people. That's being incredibly generous. If they had 100 people, hardcore maybe gets, let's be generous, say 5 people. The amount of people that die every day, they would be looking at 500 to 1,000 forms every single day. That's assuming
Yeah,
they had
it'd be a
five
lot.
people. That's assuming they had 5 people. I think you're
Yeah,
more correct in that there's maybe 2 people. Tim from
100%.
Tennessee and Bob from Idaho. No,
Yeah,
actually, you have to live in Cali. So everybody lives in Cali. So they're all in
San Francisco, Santa
yeah.
Monica, wherever,
I
probably.
forget where it was exactly, but essentially, I don't think they have that many people working on hardcore specifically, and I think that's why they was like, we're just gonna raise everybody a set hour. We don't have the budget for this. If Classic Plus is a big success, we'll have a bigger team. But till then, y'all are fucked. I think that's the genuine answer to this the problem. I agree with you. It should be more than just discretionary. I think it should be if you submit the DDoS form with proof, a real
Yeah,
human will take a look at it and they'll revive your character. And I think
yeah.
that is the best thing they could do. I just don't see it happening. And like it sucks because you're right. People should complain and talk about it and be loud about it. I just think it doesn't bother enough people because of how small hardcore really is that nobody actually is going to put the energy and time into addressing the issue with the level of addressing it actually needs.
But I will say though, like even though hardcore is small, if you like, I think Kago did a VOD on this the other day. If you look at like the numbers, like hardcore is actually one of the most popping things out of all classic versions of WoW right now. Like, and yes, it is small. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's still we could say that's small. But then when we look at it from a money perspective of how much money we're investing into Blizzard, it's really not that small. You know what I mean? Like you look
I
at the
see what you're
dollar
saying.
bills versus the amount of people that are actually in classic versions of WoW, whether it's the OnlyFans stuff, whether it's Anniversary, whether it's Season of Discovery, whether it's even Classic Era, right? And that still exists too. Um, people are still playing, classic versions of World of Warcraft. Hell, even in China, they're on RAF. You know what I mean? They're still playing classic versions of WoW, right? I consider, the trio of like classic. Well, I wouldn't call it classic, but I'm just saying it's a part of like the original 3 versions of WoW that I think are, the GOAT, right? At least of like 1, 2, 3, right? But long story short, I just think, man, don't be that guy. Don't be those guys. It would really suck to see that. And if it is, then it's just a pill we all swallow and remember. And it's unfortunate, but it would just be cool to see Blizzard take the action, which I think they already are. Like I will say that them at least doing something is them saying, hey, we're not going to let DDoS defeat us. I appreciate that. And I hope they build some better structures around their defense to stop DDoS in the future and have a better stability in a growing environment. But man, I think as of now, it's just, it just sucks. It just really sucks. That's all I gotta really say about it.
No,
It just
I
sucks. And it puts
100%
people in
agree.
a really weird position right now.
Dude, absolutely. We really went on a massive tangent on DDoSes. People are like,
I mean,
classic, let's talk about it.
it's a big subject, man. It is.
It
I mean,
is, it
for some
really
people,
is.
it hits home, and from
It
others,
absolutely
like
does.
they don't care about it. You're gonna have people in the comments that say, "Well, L losers, you should have never played hardcore in the first place."
I get those comments all the time. When I talk about
Nah.
hardcore, it's like, L hardcore? Why play hardcore? Are you stupid?
Yeah,
Okay,
like
like,
it's like, all right, well, it's not for you then. I get it, but man, like, bro, just because you're not part of the party, you don't need to hate on it, bro. Like, you're
true.
obviously not part of our party. Go hate somewhere else, man. It's like
That is one thing that's
it's like
very
a drunk
common
at a
nowadays,
bar.
though. Yeah. It's like people are
Oh
way
yeah,
more
it's
negative
super
now.
common.
The hate,
Oh, dude,
the hate is insane.
the hate parade is at an all-time high with everything. If you're not hating on something or your content is not based on hate, it's like people don't care. They don't like to be positive anymore. People like to be appreciative of things. And for me, like I started noticing that and I was like, man, like I'm noticing how many people actually hate OnlyFans and hate these people. They don't know them. You're not friends with them. You watch them on a screen. You judge them for like the first 5 minutes of the day, and then you act like you know their whole life story. Like you're not a part of it, so you're like mad and jealous, and you start coming up with these different emotions to get some type of reaction out. And then you have these DDoSers, these group of losers in a basement in fucking Kansas City or wherever the fuck they're from, and then they decide to do a planned attack and be malicious and ruin people's time. That's not fun. Like I don't know, I'm just not a fan of the whole hate action. I think it's actually whack. I think it's the easy route out. And a lot of hey, I'll say it right now. A lot of content creators are out there making just hate content. I think it's corny as hell.
It
I'll say
gets
that right
views.
now. On a side note, it gets views, good for you, but I just think it's corny.
I
Sorry.
made a video about Assassin's Creed Shadows, and in this video, I literally talked about the game. I was like, it's really smooth gameplay. It's a solid game. It's
Oh,
shockingly mediocre because it's an Assassin's Creed game. Like it's very wide, but it's very shallow. Like it looks pretty, but it's shallow. And I was like, I rate this game a 6 out of 10. It's an Assassin's Creed game set in Japan. I got comments saying, wow, I'll take. This is the most dog shit thing to ever exist. I'm like, I never said it was good. I said it was amazingly mediocre.
You messed up, brother. You didn't join the hate parade. You messed up, man. You messed up. Now you got to get packed. That's what happens.
Yeah.
You didn't agree with the L take Steven Johnson in North Carolina, who has 5 kids and a deadbeat dad, and has an American flag on the background, brother. You messed up. And it's no hate to the American flag, but still, you know what I'm saying? Like you messed up.
I did. But we are gonna move on from the hardcore situation. OnlyFans is probably dead at this point. Even if they do come back and res, I think we get maybe 2 or 3 more weeks of OnlyFans and it's cooked because no one's playing AQ. They're not doing that on hardcore. There's no. I mean, it could be cool. Nah, they're all gonna die. Yeah, they're all gonna die. Yeah, I
think
offense.
if they get to AQ, majority of them are gonna die naturally.
Yeah, no offense.
It's gonna be rough. So.
And that's the war effort. They're all gonna die in the war effort.
Yeah, it's not gonna be easy. That's the true test.
But moving on, TBC Anniversary at the end of this year, early 2025, 2026, late 2025. TBC Anniversary is coming out December, November, January. What are your thoughts on that? And are you actually excited for TBC Anniversary?
TBC hype. TBC hype. Yes,
Was
dude. I will be playing that. I don't care, bro. I love TBC. For me personally, it's all about arenas, man. It's all about getting in there and just having fun
PvP,
and PG.
PvP.
Like the PvP is gonna be fun. But don't get me wrong, going back to Hellfire Peninsula, like sign me up. I'm excited. Like I get to play TBC with people that I've never had to experience it with. My friends. I'm not too sure if Crusade will go there in the guild like that I'm with. If they do, I'll go there too. I don't care. I love TBC. I would play the shit out of it. And if SOD is on a slow end and we don't get anything with like Phase 9, if they even announce a Phase 9 to begin with, then that's the only thing that I'm really seeing for me personally. I think TBC would be like a great place to go, and it would just be fun. I mean, people want TBC again, bro. Like, if you really remember during the classic era, TBC was kind of like a drift in the wind.
Yeah, honestly, I think
Like,
people
really think
didn't
about it.
they didn't actually experience it. They were like, classic. Well,
Yeah,
TBC. I'm waiting just to get the Wrath. And I feel like
yeah,
now everybody's like, damn, I really didn't give TBC the time it deserved. And like a lot of people are
true.
treating Anniversary like a TBC waiting room. I hear a lot of people say that Anniversary is a
Yeah,
TBC waiting room for them. They're leveling, they're prepped, and they're waiting for Nax to come back. And they're going to play TBC, but this is a waiting room for them, a game to wait till they can actually play the game they want to play.
I'm gonna say a hot take here. This might piss off some Anniversary people, but that economy is so fucked. I don't want that in TBC, bro.
Go
Here's my suggestion:
ahead.
fresh TBC.
They're probably going to do a fresh server for sure. I'm playing on the fresh server. I'm not
Yeah,
going on
no,
the
no
no Night
continuation
Rain.
server.
Yeah, no continuation.
No continuation server. I do not want that. I think that would be horrible with the current economy right now. Because let's be realistic here, right? Since we're a very realistic podcast, some of the most realistic podcasts on the internet. But I believe that we do not need that economy. I think for the people that are playing Anniversary, they love Classic just to love Classic. Maybe some of them are considering a waiting room for TBC, but they know that too, that economy will not get fixed from Blizzard. Blizzard will not touch that. I wish they did. And if they use Greek Wario as an example, great. But if they don't do anything with that and they're planning to bring that into TBC, can you imagine how much the consumes are going to be over there? Can you
Think I'm
imagine
gonna
how much your BIS,
consume?
yeah, consumes and your BIS is going to be over there? Like the prices are going to skyrocket. And also, who's to say if they're going to ban GDKP on TBC? Because the last time I played TBC, GDKP was still a thing. So if they do a fresh server, I think it would give them an opportunity to do a GDKP one or not, do both. But either way, I still want a fresh server. I do not want a continuation of an Anniversary. I would rather play it
I agree with
fresh,
that.
play it completely fresh. Hell, go through Classic again, play all the stuff, do whatever I got to do, go into the portal. The portal is open now, and it's TBC fresh. Or if they just want to start people at 70 with basic bitch gear, I don't care. I'd rather just play TBC. I do
Hmm,
not want to play some continuation off of Anniversary with that economy coming in, infecting everything, because that's going to be a problem. And
I
it's a
agree.
sleeping giant that's going to be awakened once TBC comes. That's just my belief.
I 100% agree with you. I I would like to play on a fresh server because I don't know, but I feel like fresh servers are always funner than like an already existing ready-made
Yeah,
server. So I
I
think
agree.
fresh would be more hype and everything, and I think it would bring more people back. Like you have 60 days before TBC comes out. Here is a fresh server. In 60 days, it's TBC. Get ready. 1 to 60, all raids unlocked from the get-go. The
Yep.
the the rush to get Prebis, to get your character ready, to get your gold farm, to go into
Yeah.
MC, Blackwing Lair, AQ, NAC, just spam, go fast,
It'd be
fast, fast.
insane. It'd be insane.
That'd be a huge, like 90 days of content of just spamming through everything would be insane. That'd be like top tier content, and then go right into TBC. That'd be phenomenal, in my opinion. But we'll
It'd be
see what they
great.
end up doing.
Yeah, I doubt they'll do a fresh TBC. It'll probably be a continuation. Who knows? But
Uh,
all I know is I want it. I think it would be sick. And I'm also wondering too, if they're doing TBC Anniversary, right? Like, are they gonna sell boosts? Are they gonna sell boosts to people who didn't play in Classic Anniversary? Are they gonna do it
Holy
how they did in
shit,
Classic Era?
guys,
Yeah,
Tello cracked the code.
I'm
We're
just
getting
saying.
TBC anniversary boost for everyone that's skipping regular anniversary and coming back.
And coming back. Why not?
Fresh server, fresh boosts.
Yeah. There we go, brother. I'm joining the boost crew. Time to boost me up. Let's go. I didn't need to do anything at Anniversary.
Add the spinny mode back, and I'm buying it.
Let's go. W, man. Dude, I'm telling
But,
you,
yeah,
I think they'll do that. Why not? Because it's a way to reintroduce people back into your game, and it's a cha-ching, rent's paid type of move right there.
I
I'm telling
also
you right now,
I
I see it.
I can't wait to go through TBC Anniversary to get into Rat Anniversary, and then a year
Oh,
from
to be
then the
boosted Rat
Kata
Anniversary? Yeah.
Anniversary, and then
Oh,
after Kata Mop Anniversary.
boost on boost on boost. Boosties.
And
Straight
by
boosties.
that point, Mop Anniversary will be Mop Classic will be a Ward into Legion Classic, and by the time we catch up to Legion Anniversary, we'll be in Battle for Azeroth Classic.
You'll forget what classic you're in at this point if you just buy boost today. You could buy boost today if you wanted to. Bro,
Dude,
like if you really think about it, Classic Era did this stuff with TBC and a RAF. You could get the boost. Bro, they're gonna do this shit again. They're gonna do it again.
you
It's
know
gonna
it's
happen.
cooked.
It's a
You,
smart move.
you know it's
I get it.
cooked when the most anticipated MMO of 2025 is TBC Anniversary.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. We're
Like
going.
what is this
History
era
repeats
like? And
itself.
the most anticipated MMO of next year is Classic Plus. Like
Hell
no,
yeah.
it's Midnight WoW. Midnight WoW comes out in February 2026, and
Oh,
then Classic Plus at the end of the
boo.
year. Dude, they're just it's
Boo.
like I just feel bad because like think about it. Imagine you're just like, oh, I want to play a new MMO. What's there to play? You ready to play World of Warcraft again?
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. You said midnight. I said boo. Wait, Classic Plus. Yeah. Classic Anniversary with and TBC into boost. Yeah.
It is kind of cooked though, for sure.
It is, but I think it's
What
funny, bro.
and talking about things that are cooked, that has the player base very very divided and it's very like in the middle of everything. Mob Classic, and
Oh yeah, I forgot
honestly,
about that.
are you gonna play Mob Classic? Be honest.
I have
Yes or
a
no?
couple bucks.
Yes or no? Are you playing?
Yeah, I'll play.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
play.
Now,
I'll play.
now we'll
I'll
go
play.
into details.
I'll play a little bit. I won't play. It won't be my super number one game. That's like, oh my god, like I gotta play it nonstop. But I will say, when I did play Mott Remix, I actually grew a love for Mr. Pandaria. Like
Mhm.
the aesthetic, the zones, the quest, like the dungeons, the raids. I'm not gonna lie, I think Mop got way too much hate. I think Mop was so cool. It's
I
just a
believe
hot
that.
take. I think Shadow Pan Monastery was sick as hell. I dig the pandas. I don't care what anyone has to say. Those pandas are just hungry and people are jealous. They don't got no snacks. All right. And honestly, it's a great gig out there. And I loved doing the reputation grinds for the Jade
Mm-hmm.
Serpents. I thought that was really cool too. I thought Throne in Thunder, I believe it's called,
Throwing a
the raid. That raid was dope. I loved doing the Siege of Orgrimmar. It was absolutely sick. For the most part, just a lot of the raids were cool. I genuinely enjoyed playing Mop Remix, and uh, I think Mop Classic is just going to be a fun time just to go through that kind of all again. And I think the PvP is really good in Mop, from what I heard,
Mm-hmm.
at least what people were telling me. So I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm not gonna like sweat it. I could lie to myself. I'm not gonna sweat it now and then like a couple weeks later I'm in a I'm in a guild going crazy. But
Gladiator going
yeah,
ham.
yeah,
It
like
is the best
I'm on.
PvP. A lot of
Yeah,
people
like
do say it's some of the
yeah,
best PvP WoW has ever had is mob PvP. So if you're into that, it's going to be really fun.
yeah.
We continue.
But
You were saying?
like I said, I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna try to not go super crazy because I really am hoping the best for Sod in their phases and a potential phase. I'm hoping the best for TBC Anniversary to see what they're really gonna do with that thing. And Mob Classic is just kind of there, and it's a very weird position because I'm also wondering too, like during Mob Classic and all these other versions of WoW, I know there's talks even about Legion Remix.
Mhm.
That is potentially down the line too. So it's like if Mop Classic happens and then they also announce Legion Remix, then I'm making the decision in my head, like, what do I want to play more? Do I want to play the original version of Mop, which I
Legion
never got to
Remix.
really experience, or Legion Remix, which is like Legion was just a great time, and there's a lot of fun things that you can do in Legion as well with the artifacts and everything. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's very
Legion
interesting, but
Remix.
I will say I do think people are gonna play Mop Classic. What about you? Are you gonna play it, and do you think people are gonna play it for the long run?
I am going to play mob, and I'm going to explain my reasoning to everybody here. I'm going to tell you, Tello. I do not consider mob classic at all. MoP Classic is classic definition of it's been over 10 years. It's an old game. Like we're old now. Like, we've been
Yeah,
playing
no, I
WoW
was
so
saying
long
that
that
too.
MoP is classic. We may not like that because in our mind classic is vanilla, but vanilla is vanilla. Classic is just the relaunch of that expansion. That's all classic means in this context anymore. So classic plus is vanilla plus.
Yeah.
So MoP is still classic, and I don't give a shit. MoP Remix was really fun. I had a blast playing it. It was really fun. I'm gonna play MoP mainly because there's going to be a big content gap between Phase 8, Phase 9, and then BlizzCon and whatever comes next. So I have to play something in the meantime. TBC Anniversary is not till the end of the year or early next year. And MoP is coming out June, July, or August around that time frame based on the roadmap. So when you consider all of that, cool. I played Mr. Pandaria Classic, have some fun, ride the time out, come back for Nax and Anniversary, hopefully a fresh server to prep for TBC. But MoP is a placeholder for me. After Remix and actually getting to enjoy MoP without the terrible grind, I'm not really looking forward to MoP as much as a lot of other people maybe. I do not think MoP is a bad game mode. I think MoP is amazing, some of the best PvP ever there, but I don't care about it. I just am not interested. I'm not going to sit here and lie to people. I'm going to make content about it because there's going to be a content drought and I like classic and I love talking about it, but it's a game for me to play to buy the time for the better versions of content I'm actually looking forward to. And that's the politest way I can actually describe it. I don't know, maybe it's callous of me to say that, but that's just how I vibe about it.
No, I agree. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you know, you have people that are PvP, P or PvE oriented at the end. You know, they're going to enjoy what they want to watch. For them, MoP might be an interesting thing for the time being. I'm not too sure how much hype it's really going to have. I mean, I will say Kata's numbers were actually really good, even throughout, SODs like, lows and its highs. Kata's numbers were still really good. People were still rating there. People are still active there, and people actually enjoy rating on Kata. I have a friend that still plays Kata right now, and he enjoys raid logging and doing his thing. But I think MoP will be a much different time, but it's also, you know, for classic Andes, it's a very different point of like a lot of people's abilities really starting to form into more and more retail like, you know what I mean? And things start to change away from the original game. So for people who've never played MoP, it's going to be a fresh take, and them giving it a shot is going to be very interesting, maybe for a first time experience. But for people returning to MoP and know what it's like, they know that grind, and there's a lot of grinds out there, especially in MoP, that you're going to have to go through that are going to take some time to do, and some people they're planning and they're ready to go for it, and others they just don't really care about it. So I think it's going to be like a 50-50 thing. I don't think it's going to be anything super serious, super pog, super hype, but for the most part I think it's just going to be around, and that's good enough, I guess.
That's the best definition.
It's going to be
It's
around.
gonna be around. It's
Yeah.
you'll try it out. You'll have some fun. You'll be like, oh, this was really cool.
Yeah, I'll be
Oh
around.
yeah, I'm on the looking for raid. I'll have a bit of fun. This was enjoyable. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm going to go play a single player game that came out, or I'm gonna go try this in the meantime. And that is okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But
True.
talking about something that's actually hype, actually interesting, what are your thoughts on BlizzCon September 2026, my boy? Are you going?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I gotta go, bro. I have to go because ever since I've entered the WoW atmosphere, like it's been insane. Just the reception of like how so many cool people exist in this community, and I really feel like BlizzCon is a part of that. It's the center focus and the pillar of like the definition of like us being hyped together
Mhm.
as like one big family. Excuse me. And I really think it was upsetting when they didn't have one, and I know they have the online thing, but I mean, come on, this is Blizzard we're talking about. I mean,
100%.
let's let's lock in. Let's get the
Hmm.
electricity back in the building, and let's get hyped and excited for something, and let's look at stuff, and let's be real with our fans, and let's cater to the audience, as because the developers are gamers as well, and
Hmm.
I really hope that they can see it that way, like we see it for them. And I just really am looking forward to being a part of that. Yes, I will be going, and I when they announce it, I'll get the tickets. I don't care how much it is. It'll be my first time going to California, so that'd be pretty cool. I have some friends out there that maybe we'll probably go and I'll meet, but it's just a great place to collab and talk to
Mhm.
others as well, and get to see my favorite things, with the World of Warcraft in front of us. And hopefully it's not disappointing. I really hope it's not disappointing for the most part, because that would suck. That would be a bummer. But I have a feeling that this BlizzCon is going to be special. I have a feeling. I don't know why, but I feel like it's going to be good. And hopefully I'm not wrong. But are you going? Are you excited for it as
Absolutely.
well?
I tried to book hotel rooms ahead of time, but they only
Yeah.
let you book 12 months in advance. So I cannot book 18 months into the future, so I actually can't book the
Yeah.
hotel. But around September, October this year, I'm gonna book my tickets for next year, just so I have a hotel room ready. Because if my wife is coming with me, I'm gonna
Yeah.
book a room for us. But if she isn't, I'm gonna like get a friend to come with me or something. So but it's like I'm really excited to go. This is the first time I'm gonna go, and I'm hoping that I can do the. I hope they just have a separate classic and retail like showcase. I hope the retail one is separate and classic is separate, because I know retail gets a Q&A. I don't want the retail and classic Q&A to be the same. When Tally Essen and Evertal do the Q&A, well, Tally did it last year, I think, or last time it happened, and he was taking the questions from people. I want the retail questions to be separate, and I want to do the classic questions. I want to be asking the crowd as they come up. So, what do you want to ask the devs? And I want the questions in the classic to be dedicated to the classic community. I want the
Yeah.
classic vibe to be about classic. I'm still gonna go watch the midnight stuff. I'm gonna go watch all the other cool shit, but I want them to separate retail and classic. I don't think it should be together.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to see just like them split apart, but I don't know if they'll do that. It'd be interesting, but for the most part, I mean, like I agree with you. I would watch everything that they put out no matter what, because I just want to go to experience it, man. Like
Absolutely.
I never experienced a BlizzCon and never been a part of one, so this would be the first time ever for doing something like
See
that.
all the people, like meet you, Jerome, Medina if he wants to fly out, Hammer,
Yeah,
like all the people that just do content, like the Classic Sphere, like even all the other people, Showbeck, Sadako,
just
and
meeting
like
people.
all yeah,
Yeah, man,
all the
it'd be
all
great.
the big creators, like everyone's gonna be there. Like I said, it's gonna be amazing to actually see the people that are passionate about World of Warcraft.
True,
Um, and it's gonna be a vibe. It's gonna be really cool. It's
true,
gonna be really fun, and I'm just excited about the whole experience because this is gonna be my
exactly.
first one, just like you. I've never been to one before.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and after being gone for 2 years, I think it's gonna be ball. I think they've got a lot of announcements they're prepping and saving up. I think this is gonna be the most hyped BlizzCon because Microsoft is good at one thing: writing ginormous checks and forgetting they wrote them. So there's gonna be announcements, or there better be. That's all I'm saying. There better be
yeah.
some
I
announcements.
mean, I hope there's some cool announcements. I'd be very intrigued to see what they're actually going to announce. I mean, I know they're going to talk about the retail stuff, and don't get me wrong, there's that crowd for that. But I mean, brother, we all know what we want to see. I mean, come on,
Oh,
like we all know what
absolutely, brother.
we want to see, and I'm very curious about the future of their decisions as well. One thing that I'm very curious about is like, are they going to finally decide that they're gonna no longer do like every other couple years a re-release of classic, a re-release of this, a re-release? Are they gonna finally have like continuous supportive servers of like the original games, like classic,
I
TBC, and RAF?
think
Are they finally gonna announce that, or that's that not on the table, or is it just what we want,
I
classic
think
plus?
what they should do is what Diablo does, and just have a forever vanilla TBC Wrath server, and they have those, and then every 3 years, so vanilla gets a vanilla season. Then after vanilla season, there's a TBC season. After TBC season, there's a Wrath season. At the end of those seasons, your character just gets sent back to the era server, and you just stay there till the next season comes around. And it's just a
Yeah.
fresh leveling experience. There's nothing special. There's no like changes. Maybe the community can vote on some mild changes, but it's essentially 99% the same. And that way, you can every couple of years re-experience your favorite version of the game.
Yeah, I think that might be one of the best solutions, rather than saying, "Oh my gosh, like when are they ever going to put out TBC again, or when are they ever going to do RAF correctly again?" Because the last time with RAF, it was just a bot shit show. Like we all know
Yep.
this. I remember Nixium was doing videos on how bad the botting was in RAF. So like I think some kind of interesting
Mhm.
presentation at the event would be really cool if they decide to do that. But let's say if they don't do that, that's fine, and they go through the whole midnight stuff, that's fine. I really just want to get down to the meat and potatoes, man. Let's get down to what we really give a shit about, and that is classic with a plus.
And I need that shit with like need capitalized, bolded, italicized, unitalicized, double the bold. I
Yeah.
want classic plus. I need that shit. I want to make 7 videos a day analyzing every frame of the classic trailer. I want to analyze all the lore, all the story,
Yeah.
all the zones. I want to analyze everything. I want to log on and stream for 16 hours and have more shit to talk about. I want
Yeah.
Classic Plus because I want a forever version of World of Warcraft with the design philosophy of vanilla. I want
Yeah.
that shit to continue. And if you watch me or you watch Tallow or you watch anyone else on the Classic Plus roundtable, you know how much we all love Classic and how much we want Classic Plus. Because let's be honest, without Classic Plus, Classic is eventually going to die. I know everyone's got a different idea of what Classic Plus is, but everybody has a solid idea of what the core should be like. And I just give a shit about that core being solid. The little changes or whatever, everybody's different. But everyone's idea of the core experience is the same. What are your thoughts,
It's just
Tyler?
it's just the next evolution of classic,
Hmm?
you know. It's the way my belief is this. It's the way of staying in Azeroth but growing Azeroth. We're never leaving Azeroth. We're staying here, but it's forever growing, and there is places and spots and missing lore pieces and locations and improvements on like class specific issues, not everything, you know what I mean, but specific
Hmm.
things, right? And improvements on, the PvP system and the PvE system, like both systems in place, and getting us to a better place, getting us to a better place in the classic life cycle. And I genuinely believe that this is something that can be done, and I really hope we get to see it at this BlizzCon. It has to be. Like, it has to be. There are several other creators now way bigger than us talking about this too, right? And they know it too. So this is all leading up to this. And I really feel like this BlizzCon 2026 is the landing zone. It's the spot. It's the right time. It's a reason why this BlizzCon is coming out in the first place, because they got more time to work on it, and they have especially more time in the next couple months too, right, to work on it and to make the announcement. And I think it's honestly, I think we're ready, man. I think we're all ready. We're
Absolutely.
all we're all looking forward to it, and I don't want to go to any other place. I don't want, like, I love Outlands. If there's TBC Anniversary, I'll do that. Northrend's cool. Like, I don't mind that, but like, I love Classic. I like the world we live in already. I want to see all the stuff that we never got to see, that we know could have been there, should have been there, and should be there. And I think that's where we're leading. This bridge is finally crossing, and it's gonna be badass, man, once we get there. But at the moment right now, we have a schedule ahead of ourselves of a lot of things World of Warcraft
Hmm.
inspired, and that's till then. But we're here right now, amigos.
Absolutely. And I believe Classic Plus is coming. I don't think it's going to be called Classic Plus. I should clarify that. I'm pretty sure they're going to call it like Vanilla Retold, Vanilla Reborn,
Yeah, what
Vanilla the Magic Bean, or whatever. Like that's
if tell us the magic read?
uh they're going to name it something that's not Classic Plus because I feel like the Classic Plus name is so tainted at this point that it's going to be Vanilla something, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
sure, sure.
I believe it's coming. I believe at BlizzCon next year they're gonna announce. I think they're gonna tease the shit out of it every fucking couple of months up till BlizzCon's release. And then at BlizzCon, they're gonna do another Sod moment where they're gonna announce some kind of shoddy stuff like Cataclysm. Rest in peace, the girl that announced Cataclysm, by the way. That poor thing. If
Yeah,
you remember last BlizzCon, where she was just on stage and it was deathly quiet. And
packed.
then comes class, and then comes Sod, and everybody was like, "Yeah!"
Yeah, true,
Hopefully, they
true.
don't do that shit again.
Yeah,
But we're getting that announcement. I don't give a shit if it's good or not. I just want to be hyped. I want it to be good. I should clarify. I do want it to be good. But I just
no,
want to
that'd
have
be
the.
great.
I want to have my bones invigorated. I
Man,
want
I
the
just want
skeleton in me to vibe.
I just want full support of it. I want a paying attention to detail. I want
Hmm.
them to care about their consumer base. And
Hmm.
I just want the players to all be having a fun time in unison, where we can all come back, older content creators to the newer content creators like ourselves as well, and all just have a fun time, and the
Absolutely.
communities and everyone just having a blast. And and it's a perfect scenario. I know it's very rare. It's a super rare Blizzard W that can,
Mm-hmm.
potentially happen, but we have to wait. In 2026, BlizzCon is that day, and I will be there. I know you'll be there, and a lot of others will be there. And man, I'm looking forward to it. I might even live stream while I'm there too. I'm thinking about getting the blog
I'ma
set up,
do it.
going up
Let's
there.
get it.
So
Let's
it's gonna be
vlog.
badass, bro. It's gonna be badass. I can't wait.
I'm excited. I got me all giddy and excited about an event
Yeah, I
18
know.
months away.
And don't e- and the best part is it's not happening for a while. So
18
being
months.
so a long time, but hey,
Uh,
it is what it is. We got to schedule ahead of ourselves. We got to put our foot on the pedal of what's going on right now,
mhm.
and keep tackling it week by week. And that starts with anniversary and hardcore wipes and season discovery phase 8 and all the stuff that we talked about. So I mean, hey, that's the reality we live in. But hey, it's not that bad.
So we got
It can
content.
always be worse. It can always be worse. You know what
Phase
I mean?
3.
True. But I will
Never
say,
that again. Yeah.
save Greek Wario. I'll leave it with that. Save Greek Wario and fix anniversary. I
My
hope for
man's
long enough.
acting like his boy's been in prison. He's like, yo, free my boy Greek Wario.
Save
He's innocent.
Wario,
He did
bro.
nothing wrong. But no,
Free Wario.
yeah, but
Let's go,
hopefully,
man.
they do fix the gold issue there. And hopefully everyone enjoys all the massive amounts of content planned over the next year and a half, whether you're into it or not. There's something for everybody. And hopefully everybody has a relatively decent time and just enjoys World of Warcraft for what it is. And honestly, we need to drop the sweat levels a little bit. Why the fuck is everyone and their grandmother this sweaty up here? Like, let's drop back down to like only 5% being sweaty. Why is 72% of the player base sweaty? That number needs to drop. But okay, I'm gonna leave it at there. Tell him, my boy, is there anything you want to tell them before we end the show?
I'm just happy to be back. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering, but I'm happy to be back. It's really cool seeing Evan Hart again. I know we've been on a little hiatus, and uh, just going back to our roots and doing what we do best, and just providing an entertaining time for you guys. What I know people are working or doing jobs they don't want to do, and they just want to get home, play World of Warcraft, or just Mac, or just listen to somebody for a couple hours. So I appreciate it. Always coming back. Much love to you. Thank you for bringing this back. It's been an enjoyment when we did it a while back, and it's an enjoyment to continue a new chapter for the new season once again. And
Absolutely.
much love to you. Lock it in, brother.
Thank you. And like Tyler said, it's really good to be back. His content has been amazing since he's come back. Like the energy and the vibes are here, and I'm just really happy to finally be back and enjoying the world and the community once again. And I can't wait to experience all the upcoming content, everybody. So thank you guys for watching this, whether you're watching at work, at home, you're doing dishes, laundry, on a drive to work or from work. Thank you guys. I do appreciate your support. We will see you guys on the next episode next week. Thank you all for watching. My name is Ebenhart. You can catch me at Ebenhart TV on every platform. Hello, let them know where they can find you.
Hello, Jay Tello, Twitch TV, and also YouTube. Much love to you.
Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. Peace, everyone.
Peace.